This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Blood Moon Covenant by Luna Morales. The surgeon. The liver was dying under Dominique Vance's hands. She could feel it in the texture of the tissue, the way blood welled faster than suction could clear, the particular quality of resistance when hepatic cells began surrendering to shock. The monitors screamed numbers she already knew. Pressure dropping, pulse steady. 23 years of heartbeats counting down toward zero. More suction. I need to see the arterial branch. Dom's voice cut through the chaos, steady as stone. Her gloved fingers found the ragged tear where the bullet had shredded through the hepatic artery, and she pressed gauze against the hemorrhage with one hand while reaching for the vascular clamp with the other. The patient's name was Kira Chen, biology and Spanish double major at UW. She had been leaving a club in Capitol Hill when a fight between strangers spilled onto the sidewalk and someone pulled a gun. Wrong door, wrong moment, wrong night to be 23 and alive and full of futures that were bleeding out faster than Dom could repair them. None of that mattered now. What mattered was the bleeding. Clamp. The word was a command, not a request. 3-0 silk. I need the angled forceps, and someone get me better light on the inferior margin. The surgical team moved around her in practice synchronization, each wolf in their pack position. Dr. Reginald Hayes worked across from her, his silver-gray eyes calm above his mask, his hands steady as he retracted liver tissue to give her access. Reggie had trained her during residency. He had watched her develop from a talented student into something rarer, a surgeon who could cage her emotions in steel while she worked, then let them breathe once the crisis passed. Most surgeons learn to suppress. Dom had learned to compartmentalize. Boxes within boxes, each one sealed with something harder than hope. Her wolf stirred beneath her skin, pressing forward at the scent of blood. Not now. She shoved the instinct down with the same practice force she had used since childhood, since the first time she realized that being different meant being dangerous. Her hands remained steady. Her heartbeat slowed rather than quickened. This was the gift that made her valuable. She could become something less than human when she needed to, something pure and precise, and utterly focused on the task of keeping cells alive. There, the arterial branch lay exposed, ragged edges weeping. Dom's fingers moved without conscious direction, clamping, stitching, rebuilding, suture, again, there, that is holding. 15 minutes became 20, 20 became 30. The monitors stopped screaming. The numbers stabilized. Kira Chen's heart kept beating, each thump a small victory against the entropy that wanted to reclaim her. Dom stepped back from the table as the resident moved in for closure. Her shoulders ached. The mask had pressed grooves into her cheekbones that would take an hour to fade. Her scrubs were spotted with blood that was not her own, and somewhere beneath the antiseptic and copper, she could still smell the particular fear sweat of a body fighting to survive. She had won this one. She would not always win. But today, the universe had decided that 23 years was not enough for Kira Chen, and Dom had been the instrument of that decision. The OR doors swung closed behind her, and she let herself exhale. The locker room was empty at this hour. 3 in the morning, that liminal space between shifts when even hospitals grew quiet. Dom stripped off her gloves and dropped them in the biohazard bin, then leaned against her locker and closed her eyes. Her phone had been vibrating since before the surgery. She could feel it against her hip like an accusation. She knew who was calling. She knew why. She also knew that acknowledging either of those things would mean leaving this fluorescent-lit sanctuary.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.